Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be part two of my DC 100 page spectacular videos, series of videos. Uh, it's crappy weather outside. We had like an inch of ice this morning, and then depending on where you lived around here in Kentucky, you got anywhere from 5 to 17 inches of snow. So, but like in 3 or 4 days, it's going to be 50 or 60 degrees. So that's Kentucky for you. But anyway, I want to get back to the 100 pagers. I wanted to make a little comment. I'm actually showing these in the I guess in the progression that they came out as far as the month and the year. So I'm not going to show like all of one title or anything. So I'm show you or try to show you. I think I got them pretty well lined out by month and year. Okay, the first one continued from last time was actually the first Shazam 100 pager. This is a Shazam number 8, and this was actually supposed to be in DC 23, the 23rd issue of the title of DC 100 page spectacular, but they just decided to make it part of the run of Shazam that was coming out at that time. This one's good for a couple of reasons. It's got the reprint of the first appearance of Black Adam, so on eBay I've seen this book going for stupid prices. It's actually like the first time you've seen Black Adam since the Golden Age, even though it's the reprint from Marvel Family #1. And it's also got a reprint of Tawky the Talking Tiger, so you get to see the first appearance of him. Same stuff. You got a lot of stuff from C.C. Beck and Kurt Schaffenberger and people like that. But yeah, cool book. Like I say, it's because of the Black Adam thing and the movie coming out later and all that. This one's going up in price. A little better high grade copy there. Okay, Young Low 107, like from January '74, maybe. Nothing to note about this one. I think it's got a Nick Cardy cover, and I think it's got some Gene Colan art on this. Actually, I think Colan and Romita, to a lot of people's utter disgust, and I'm not going to name names. You know who you are. Did a lot of this stuff before they helped make the Marvel Universe. So, okay, here's a very cool one. Detective 438. A Monster Walks Wayne Manor. Actually got a really cool Mike Kaluta cover there. And like the other 100 pagers, it's got some cool reprints. You got some Silver Age Green Lantern and Adam, I think both by Gil Kane. This is actually the second part of the Manhunter saga by Archie Goodwin and Walt Simonson. And I know ETA Nick just recently did a video on underused characters or unappreciated characters, and this was his choice, and he's right. I mean, this is a great character, but especially the way Goodwin wrote him and the way Simonson drew it, it's just an awesome tale. I think you got some I don't know if this is Silver Age or Golden Age Robin reprint. I think you probably got some Kubert Hawkman. So, a cool book. There's my other copy. Okay, next one we have is Witching Hour number 38. I think these are all reprints. This was the only 100 pager that came out in this title. Let's see what I have to note here. I think it's got some Alex Toth art in here, Bob Brown, like Pat Boyette did some stuff. Pat Boyette was one of Marvel's or Charlton's mainstays for a long time. Sorry. It's got some cool reprints in it. I actually got 3 copies of these. This one. This is actually my ratty copy. And here's my other one. Probably my highest grade one. Okay, we have Young Romance 197. Again, not much to note on this one. I think you got some Mike Sekowsky art in this one, who did a long run on the Justice League in the Silver Age. Other than that, not a whole lot. I think Vince Coletta did a lot of art in these. But other than that, you know, it's just trying to find one in a decent grade is the only thing with this one. So, another cool Batman book. This is the only copy I have of this one, Batman 254, King of the Gotham Jungle. A lot of great reprints in this one. And you have a Man-Bat appearance, also one of my favorite Bat characters. And this one, let's see, of course it's Nick Cardy cover. And what something was kind of cool about these books too was like the table of contents page. And this one, you actually have some Neal Adams art on it. And I think they actually reprinted this from a page in Batman 251. If you guys that have that issue or read that story, it's the Joker's Five-Way Revenge. I think this was one of the panels out of that. But I always love the contents pages on a lot of these because they reprinted like some panels or like a cover from an older DC book. You get to see Ready Ranger's ad on the back. You guys remember that from Aurora? You have the little backpacks and everything. Kind of cool. Let's see. You know, actually, I think in this one there's a Robin story too. I think it's a new Robin story, but it's drawn by Dick Dillon and maybe Murphy Anderson did the inks on it, so that's kind of cool. Okay, here we have Superman 272. Here's my original copy. Yeah, got this one as a kid. I think I traded my cousin for it or something, and I wore this one out. But it's got a lot of great stories in it. Got Superman and Mr. Mxyzptlk. Got Jimmy Olsen and Pandora's Box. Got a Silver Age Green Lantern story. I think here's a better copy with a cover on it. Actually, I think this is a reprint from a story called is when Zatanna was trying to find her father. So I think she teamed up with Adam and maybe Hawkman and Green Lantern and Batman maybe in an issue of JLA. But this whole quest she was trying to find Zatara, her father. So that went through several books. Some Golden Age Superman stuff. Mr. Mxyzptlk. Good stuff. There's another copy. Trying to get all my highest graded ones in Mylar. I kept thinking I had an extra copy of this, and I still might, but I think this is the first issue Detective Comics actually picked up. It's number 439, Night of the Stalker. This I really love this story. I think it was Denny O'Neil might have done the story on this. I'm not mistaken. But you had a guy named Sal Amendola, and he had a style that was real reminiscent of Neal Adams. And this is like a great Batman tale. And Batman is there's very little dialogue in his story. It's mostly just captions, and he doesn't say a word through this whole story. It's kind of going through, him being an orphan and and all this stuff. And it's I won't spoil it, but it's a really good tale. Like a lot of these early detectives, you got a Kid Eternity reprint, Dr. Fate. Got another chapter in the Manhunter Saga. More Silver Age Hawkman and Adam. See who's the artist in this. I think there's like an old Batman tale where Sheldon Moldoff was like ghosting for Bob Kane, because a lot of the stories that had Bob Kane's signature or in the credit, it was actually Sheldon Moldoff ghosting for him. So pretty cool book in that way. Can't think of anything else with this one, but this is one of my favorites. Let's see. Okay, Young Love 108. About the only thing of note in this one, it's got some John Romita art in it. So, okay, another favorite Batman book. This is my original copy. This is Batman 255. No cover. It's missing some pages, and like I say, it's got tape on it. So, but this is Neal Adams and Dick Giordano on the art. Here's the cover. Nightwolf. Now, to me, this one and Batman 251 was probably in my opinion, like Adam's best Batman stories as far as the art. And it's got a cool cover. Sorry about the glare, but and then you have you know, the usual Batman reprints, Robin, you know, and it's all the guys that did them back in the '40s. You know, Bill Finger, Bob Kane, Jerry Robinson, Dick Sprang. You know, all the Batman greats from back then. I always thought this was a funny character, Crazy Quilt. I was just kind of wondering if he ever popped back up in the modern age anytime. So, but you got a Batgirl story, Alfred story, like I say, some Golden Age Batman stuff. But this story is the shit. Take my word. Okay, and from April of that year, have Justice League of America 110. Yep, this is my original copy. This is the first 100-pager in the JLA's title. There was another 100-pager in the first of the DC Spectacular run, but this is the first in the run of the actual title of Justice League. Got another Nick Cardy cover. Here's a better copy. This was a cool story. I think this is actually the first time that you see John Stewart, Green Lantern, in a Justice League story. I think when the JLA call went out, there was Hal Jordan was in the bathtub and he slipped in the shower or slipped on the soap and knocked himself out. So the Ring went out and found the next available ring bearer. So John Stewart's in this story. Got a cool Justice Society of America reprint. Got another cool JLA Silver Age reprint. This one, let's see. I think in the JSA reprint there was some Carmine Infantino art and art by Alex Toth in one of the JSA chapters. So, pretty cool book. Young Romance 198, like I say, not much to note. Got some, I think there's some Gene Colan art in this and Mike Zakowski. Other than that, okay. And in this book, this is Wonder Woman 211. This is one of the two that were 100-page spectaculars in her title. And this one, the price actually goes up to 60 cents from 50 cents. And you got a lot of, you got some Golden Age Wonder Woman reprints. You got some Silver Age Wonder Woman. And I think the guy that did a lot of the art back then on Wonder Woman was Ross Andru and Mike Esposito. I think they also did the Metal Man back in the Silver Age. But a cool book. I think it's a really funky little cover. Here's the higher grade copy. Like I say, it's really hard to find these with like a really good looking spine on them, just because of the, you know, these things are saddle stitched. But Wonder Woman 211. Okay, we have another cool Detective Comics, number 440. Jim Aparo cover. Ghost Mountain Midnight. And this one you actually have a Golden Age Green Lantern reprint. Doll Man. You have another chapter of Goodwin and Simonson's Manhunter. Another Hawkman reprint from the Silver Age. I'm pretty sure it's probably Kubert. Or it might be Murphy Anderson. I think Murphy Anderson did a lot of that too. And you have a Robin story. So. Okay, House of Mystery 224. Let's see if there's anything to note on this. Actually, there is. There's actually a Spectre reprint in this from the Silver Age, and I'm thinking it's if I wrote this down right. I think it was Murphy Anderson, and I think Neil Adams did the inks, or Bernie Wrightson did the inks on the Spectre story. But you have a lot of the Filipino artists in this. Have Jerry Taylock, Alfredo Alcala, which is one of my favorites. You got Kane, master of the House of Mystery. I'm not sure if there's anything else to note in this one. Got some Alex Nino art, one of my favorites. Steve Skeets does some stories. Or Skates, however you pronounce his name, I'm not really sure. Funny story, guys, you know that know who Steve Skeets or Skates is. He did a lot of stories for Charlton. Ended up going to DC and had a good run on Aquaman. Did the Captain Fear feature in the back of Adventure Comics in the early 70s. And I really loved the guy's writing. But it was just funny. I was looking on Facebook the other day, and just out of the blue, the guy friends me on Facebook. And I don't know why, but I guess he was trying to get a fan base going again or something. But he friended me, and I saw he kind of friended some other people like in the comic community or in the comic pages. So I thought that was kind of neat. I told him I enjoyed his stuff on Aquaman and Captain Fear. He's like, hey, he said, that's great. He said, welcome aboard, and he had some big, long, drawn-out thing, and then he's like, Captain Fear and Aquaman, I wonder why they never met. And I was like, well, so call Alex Nino, you write it, and then I'll reserve my copy. So he thought that was kind of funny. Here we have Superman Family 164. This is actually the first issue of Superman Family. This continues the numbering from Jimmy Olsen. So the last issue of Jimmy Olsen was 163, and the first issue of Superman Family was 164. So, and in this title, you have like a rotating feature in the news story. You have like Jimmy Olsen 1 month, Lois Lane the next month, and Supergirl the next month. Those three kind of took the lead feature. Then you had a lot of great Silver Age Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen stories. Perry White, not sure who. And I think, Jim Shooter did some art in this. Jim Mooney, or Jim Shooter did some writing. Jim Mooney and Schaffenberger, Jerry Siegel is in this one. So, all right, Tarzan 230. This is the first 100-pager in Tarzan's title. There was a couple, or I guess maybe one or two in the first series of Tarzan, but this is the first in his ongoing title. It's number 230. And the basic stuff you have in here, you have some Joe Kubert Tarzan, which is always great. Trying to figure out who else was in this. Actually you have a Tarzan story drawn by Joe Kubert and inks by Russ Heath, which is pretty neat. I'd never seen that before. You got a Bomba the Jungle Boy reprint. Has some Russ Manning Tarzan. And one of my favorite features in the Tarzan book was another one of ERB's characters. It was a Carson of Venus, and drawn by Mike Kaluta. So really, really good art and story in that. And I think you have, I think there's like a Detective Chimp story, and anybody that follows Justice League Dark knows who that character is. But you get to see an early Detective Chimp story in this one. Okay. Young Love 109. Again, not much to note. I think you got Rick Estrada and maybe Vince Coletta did some art in this one. Other than that. Okay. Here we go. Brave and Bold 112. This is the first Brave and Bold 100-pager. Batman teaming up with Mr. Miracle. Jim Aparo artwork. And you have a reprint of, I think, one of Batman's first team-ups in Brave and Bold, if not the first. He's teamed up with Green Lantern. I think that story is drawn by Ramona Ferdon. And you have The Silent Knight, which may have been Kubert. And Aquaman and Hawkman is another early Brave and Bold reprint. Okay, and something else of note on these, you always have this little thing like a gallery of Batman's famous co-stars, or you'll have a puzzle page, or you'll have something called cover capers, where they'll do parodies of DC's covers. It's sort of like anybody that collected wacky packages as a kid, the little funky stickers, you know what I'm talking about? They kind of did this with the covers in a lot of the books. So there's always some kind of feature in here, like a puzzle or a little goofy page, or like so-and-so's guest stars over the years. So that was one of the things. And if I hadn't mentioned this before, this is really, these 100 pages are the way that I really learned a bunch about DC's history. Because, besides getting the new story, most of the time in front, you got to see Golden Age and Silver Age reprints. A lot of this stuff was like the first appearances. And so I really learned a whole lot about DC's history. And you can still, if you just want like a reading copy or a mid-grade copy, these are probably still one of the best things to go buy if you're trying to find some of the early stuff or trying to get into DC's history, because you can get the archive editions. They're kind of expensive depending on where you get them. Another good resource for that would be like the DC Showcase editions. They have like the silver and bronze stuff. But really, these you want the stuff in color. These really are about the cheapest way to go to find some old Golden Age and Silver Age reprints. Okay, here you have Batman 266. You got I think it's another Nick Cardy cover. Let's see. Yeah. And the new story, you have Batman and Robin and Catwoman in one of her older costumes. You get a story about the giant penny in Batman's Batcave, the mummy case, the Beast of Dinosaur Island. A lot of great Batman stuff. So you got the regular lineup of creators in this. I think you got a Robin story here by Irv Novick and Dick Giordano. You got Bill Finger, Jerry Robinson, Sheldon Moldoff again. But for Batman fans or fans of DC, this is cool stuff. Okay, Justice League of America 111. It's a pretty cool story. It's got the character Libra in it, which I think he showed up later on, like after Identity Crisis, and maybe in between Infinite Crisis and Final Crisis. He was one of the characters gathering villains. So you kind of have the JLA going against the Injustice League. So you got Shadow Thief, Poison Ivy, Scarecrow, Kronos, Tattooed Man, Mirror Master, and this is kind of cool because this has got a Seven Soldiers of Victory reprint in it, and you have an early Silver Age JLA reprint where they're fighting Brainstorm. Like I say, you had little added attractions like a JLA puzzle and some other stuff. There's the higher grade one. Okay, next one we got is Shazam number 12. I think in this one, maybe Bob Oskner did the art on the new stories, and Oskner was a long time guy that was on the Superman books and did a lot of Lois Lane and Superman family stuff. And I actually think he did some issues of Superman in the 70s. But you got some great reprints. You got Uncle Marvel and Savannah, Captain Marvel Jr., Mary Marvel. And here's my high grade copy of that one. Okay, the last one I got tonight is Superboy 202. This is actually the second 100-pager in his run. In the first video I showed Superboy 185, which was actually all reprints. But some things of note on this one. This is actually the last issue that Dave Cockrum drew for Superboy and the Legion. You got some great stories from the Silver Age. I think might have some Jim Shooter scripts. And they have Kurt Swan on the art in these. And Superboy meets the Superboy of Bigville as opposed to Smallville. But you have a cool story here and by Dave Cockrum called Wrath of the Devilfish. And you have another new story in the back. It's called something like A Million Miles from Home. And this is actually Mike Grell's first work on Superboy and the Legion. And he inks, I think he inks Dave Cockrum's pencils. Let's take a look. Like I say, these table of contents pages are always cool. And I think this is like a reprint from the cover of Adventure Comics, like in the late 60s by Neil Adams. And it tells you all the contents. Yeah, actually the first story is the Cockrum and Grell story. So you can see in the credits there, Dave Cockrum on pencils and Mike Grell on the inks. Actually a pretty good team. really cool art. I think the story in the back. Let's see. Yeah, you have some Kurt Swan on the Legion, so he was my favorite Silver Age Legion artist. And yeah, and he has some Dave Cockrum art. I think it was his last on this title, Wrath of the Devilfish. Man, and Cockrum is sorely missed. You know, the guy had great art. I think right after this is when he went to Marvel and started doing the X-Men. So, and if I remember right, one of the reasons he left the title and maybe went to Marvel is I think like in issue 200 of Superboy, it was like the wedding of Bouncing Boy and Dio Damsel, and there was like a big double-page spread. And I think one of his editors, he asked for the original art. And I think one of his editors said he could have it. Might have been Murray Boltinoff. And then when he came back to get it or something like that, I think Carmine Infantino, who was like the head guy then, told him he couldn't have it. So I think he just probably told him to go screw themselves, and then he went to Marvel. So, you know, so we missed out on more great Legion art by Dave Cockrum. But pretty cool book. You know, got great art and great stories. So, and other than showing a high grade copy, that'll be the end of this video. Hope you guys are enjoying these as much as I'm enjoying doing them. I think I've got actually got 3 more of these. I got 3 more piles of this stuff. So for people that are watching these, I appreciate the views and I appreciate your comments. And I have been catching up on a ton of videos and trying to leave comments. So guys, thanks for sticking around. And as always, onward and upward.